everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I'm your yarn host, Jennifer. Today we're talking about stinky yarn, okay? The reason we're talking about stinky yarn is because if you saw yesterday's video, I went to the thrift store and I bought some yarn. And while this yarn does not stink per se, like it just smells like somebody else's house that's not mine, does not stink. It is a little, you can tell it's been hanging around a while. So I am going to talk to you about how to wash yarn like this. Now, one of the things that you can do, obviously, is you can take this yarn and put it in a mesh laundry bag, and you can kind of like cinch it tight around the yarn, and you can wash it on gentle in your washing machine. You can do this. This will work. It absolutely will work. But I have done this, and the entire ball has fallen apart in the wash. And then I had to untangle said yarn. So I'm not going to show you how to do that technique today. You can also, if it's a smell issue, if it's a mild, maybe it smells like it's been hanging around a while, or it smells like somebody's perfume or something like that, you can spray this with some Febreze or some deodorizing spray. There's lots of deodorizing sprays on the market. And you can just let it set out in the sun to dry, and that will take care of mild odors. Now, if this smells like cat pee, which has also happened to me, throw it away. Don't waste your time. That cat pee smell ain't never coming out. Cat pee crystallizes. And I know this is gross. Cat pee crystallizes. Not only does it crystallize, it will stain yellow onto your yarn. Just throw it away. Just don't waste your time. Cat pee is not something you want to waste your time with. Very strong cigarette smoke as well is harder to get out. It is not impossible, and I do have some yarns that I have remedied from a very heavy smoke smell. The problem with cat pee and with cigarette smoke is they both kind of, well, one crystallizes and the other one, the cigarette smoke, is a sticky, tacky. The tar chemicals that are in cigarettes actually stick to the fiber, so it's kind of like pouring a sugary sauce that smells on your yarn. It is very, very difficult to get out. So, however, if you want to get cigarette smoke out, hot water, if the yarn can take the hot water, lots of soap, lots of washes. Just, it has to soak and soak and soak and soak. And just keep the water warm and hot so that it dissolves the nicotine, the tar off of the fabric of the yarn. And then eventually it will smell better. I have done this. I did this with a very large bag of yarn that I purchased. It did work. And then afterwards I sprayed it down with some Febreze and I let it sit out in the sun for days, and all of the smells went away for the most part. But I'm going to show you how to wash this. And I think we're going to do the pink because the pink is lighter color. It's got a little bit of dingy on it. The first thing that we are going to do is I am going to get my ball winder out. If you do not have a ball winder, you can wrap this around the back of a chair. You can have your husband or your grandkid hold their hands out and wrap it around their hands. We're going to make this back into hank form. And the reason we're doing that is because it lets the fibers be free more to access water or access the soaps. And so it will get even the inside of the ball clean. Whereas if you just do it this way, it might not access all the yarn, and you might still have some of the dusty smell on the inside. So I'm going to pull out my ball winder and I will be right back. This is my Swift. All of my parts are wooden, easily collapsible. This is made by Stanwood. I will link this below as well. Last time I did that, I broke it. Caught it with my foot, kind of. All right. This is very easy to put together. I did a review on this as well. Very easy to put together. We're going to make this a big skein or big hank. This is going to be 72 inches around. And I don't know if I have a way to show this to you guys. Where you can see the whole thing. We just take this, we tie a loose knot there, and you just spin it. Oh, move stuff out of the way first so you're not hitting it. There is stuff everywhere on my desk. I tried cleaning, but me and Mr. Cinnamon both have been working from this room, and we're sharing space, and stuff just gets cluttered. And mostly it's me, because I've been working. Whoop. And because there's stuff everywhere, it's hitting it, and it's making it uneven, and making it wobble. This yarn is very pretty. I love this color. I was actually kind of glad I found this. I have never used Gloucester from Bernat. I have really used very limited amounts of Bernat yarn. Because I didn't craft when I lived in Michigan, and Bernat is very more readily available in Michigan than it is where I live. Because I said, like, a lot of times you can find Bernat at Meijer, which is a Midwest store, and you can also find it at Walmart, but our Walmarts close to my house do not have yarn sections barely at all. Like, I could fit all of my Walmart's yarn probably on one of my bookshelves. This is kind of a fun way to get your frustrations out. You just swing it. Ooh, until it starts banging on stuff. And this is, did I tell you how many yards this is? It's a 3.5 ounce ball. I'm hitting my mouse for my laptop. I'll read the label in a minute and see how many yards this is. The reason I'm doing a big skein like this is because I want the fibers to have more flowing access to the water and the soap. And the paper's on the floor, the paper's on the floor. I hold the Dario. The paper's on the floor. This is not a perfect skein because I'm going to, when this is all dried up tomorrow, I'm actually going to recake it with my ball winder and tuck the label inside so I know what it is. But I really like this color. I think it's pretty. All right, now we're going to just squish the yarn together a little bit, and then this is does not say how many yards it is anywhere. Unless I'm missing it. All right, I'm gonna grab some other cotton that I have. Actually, I have this right on my desk. This is just that white Hobby Lobby yarn I showed you. Extreme close up. I'm trying to get my scissors out of my. Dropped my glasses on the floor. So this is just acrylic yarn. It does not matter. We're going to cut 3 pieces. Doesn't have to be even. It don't matter. Two of these pieces we're going to tie to the end. The end here. Just hold it together like this. Kind of like you're going to do a slip knot, but just pull it tight like that. And then we split this in half. We grab that and we go in and around and back out. And guess what? I'm going to tie it again. See? And that stops the yarn from tangling up on itself a whole lot. And then our other end is in this peg because this is where we tied it. So reach in and untie it. This is why we tie it loosely. Grab another yarn, do the same thing, tie it to this end. Split it in half, grab that part, go in through the back. So we're making kind of like a figure 8. Go back out and around, go back in that same hole, and tie it again here. Okay. And then, because those are both on this side, we're going to come to this side, and we're just going to, again, split it, go in and around, and we'll tie this end. And then we're ready to take this trip to the bathroom or the kitchen or wherever you have a sink that is easily pluggable. We'll take it off the Swift. And this is how you create a hank for dyeing or washing or whatever. Yeah, that smells a little bit dusty. All right, guys, let's move this to the next room. All right. Here we are in my bathroom. This is just a downstairs bathroom. This is not even a full bathroom, it's a half bathroom. But this is the bathroom that everyone uses, so I had to hurry up and come in here and wipe the toothpaste off the inside of the sink, because anyone that has a kid knows. I'm gonna run warm water. My tap water is extremely hot, like extremely hot, so we're just gonna do warm, just because I want this to come clean. And I'm gonna put a little bit of my regular laundry detergent in. You don't need a lot. That was even probably too much, but that's all right. You want this to be soapy water. You can also use this technique to wash your finished objects, but you know, that's enough water. I'm going to take, and I'm going to fold this in half because I made a big skein, but I'm going to hold it so it doesn't get completely tangled. I'm just going to fully wet this. That actually looks way more vibrant in this room. It almost looks neon. We're just going to let this soak for a little bit and let the soap and the water do its work and get that dust off. Now that is really beautiful cotton. I will also tell you that for fabrics, and as a matter of fact, this works for plastics as well. And a lot of you older generations, the ones that have been around a long time, you already know this trick. So this is really for us young ones that learn this later in life. A little splash of household white vinegar is a deodorizer. You don't need a lot, or else your yarn will smell like vinegar. But vinegar does two things. Vinegar, there's a high acid content in vinegar, and it will help with bacteria that might be in the yarn, but it also will help with this bleeding that's happening. And that's because I used warm water when it recommended cold, but that will help with the dyes that are in this cotton. It also helps with a deodorizing effect. Vinegar can also be used if you have plastic Tupperware type containers or bowls and they smell funky. You put vinegar in them and soak them in vinegar and hot water, and it will help get rid of the odor. But vinegar also helps dye to adhere to yarn. And yeah, there's a lot of bleeding, but I kind of expected that because this is cotton and it is an older yarn. All right, we are going to drain that. There's a lot of pink in there, but that's okay. Then we're going to do a cold rinse. Now you do not want to shock the yarn if you're using wool. Do not do this with wool. If you are doing cotton, that's one thing. Acrylic, that's fine. Do not do the hot then cold with wool. Just always do full cold with the wool and let it sit longer. But this is cotton, and cotton can take these changes without it destroying the fibers. There's a lot of bleeding coming off this yarn. That's why this, whatever I make with this, will be something I make for myself. And drain the water again. Gotta wash some of that soap down the drain. Let the soap go down the drain. Go, go, go. If you ever feel like it's tangling, reach for that butterfly tie again. Reach for right where you tied that white strip and just grab it and pull it up, and then it won't be tangled. That's why we put 3 in. And I'm just picking it up and moving it around to make sure all of the fibers get some of that soap water rinsed out. This color is beautiful. I almost passed this up because it was dingy. And now I'm really glad I bought it. Like, it is worth the extra effort to just give it a little wash at home for $1. And the bleeding is way less this time. But if it bleeds too much, you can do another heavy splash of the vinegar and let it soak for a long period of time, and it will help with that, with the dye bleeding. Alright, I think one more rinse and we're good. Back to the tie. Yep, no more bleeding. Just a little bit of soap. And I just use my regular laundry detergent that I use. Sometimes I just use my my dish detergent. If you pull it up, it is like drastically less pink. Alright, I'm going to do the sniff test. Yep, it doesn't smell dingy or dusty anymore. I'm going to drain the water. And I am going to squeeze the water out. You never want to wring it dry because that will, no matter what fibers it is, you don't want to wring it dry. You don't want to break the fibers or damage them. Whoop. So, grab this, fold it in half again, fold it in half one more time, and then just squeeze the water out. Very pretty. This is very pretty. And I'm probably going to repeat this process with that blue one. And then I'm just going to go hang this up outside to dry. And it will be dry in no time at all, especially if I use the spin dryer Mr. Cinnamon gave me, or made me, finagled me. Alright guys, that is it. I will come back and show you this when it is dry, but thank you for watching me wash my yarn. I hope you learned something. Okay, so I decided to show you, I wasn't gonna show you this little contraption. I did show this in a previous video. This is a salad spinner that we got from the thrift store. It was motorized. I told the whole story, but the motorized function was non-functioning, so Mr. Cinnamon fixed it so that I can use the drill and it goes way faster and it works more efficiently. But before I do that, I want to show you. This was hilarious. My daughter, who is now going to be the 11th grade, came home from school with tomato plants and a pepper plant from her teacher to give to me because he knows that we garden. Little man, who is going into the 2nd grade, also brought home a plant of unknown origins from his class. I thought that was cute. My phone totally died, so I had to go charge it. So we're going to make this quick before it dies again because I'm only at 23%. Okay. salad spinner, yarn. I always grab it at the tie because this kind of thing happens and that can cause knots. So I'm going to fold this over and over again because this is much like a washing machine, and if it's off balanced it will not dry properly, it will not spin it properly. Put our lid on, and I'm preparing, we got power tools now, it's going to get loud. And then I did a good job wringing the water out because it's not spinning anything out at all.
Wait, do you want to head out with dinner? Do you?
It's not time to head out for dinner. Yeah, it's already dry.
Wait, it's not time to go to dinner
so we're
yet?
going to hang this up. Probably because the time it took me to go and charge my battery. Yeah, I'm just going to hang this up to dry. I actually did throw the blue one in the wash. It is soaking right now. This only took 15 minutes to wash. And now it's just going to hang up to dry for a couple hours. And it already smells like my laundry. So it doesn't stink any longer. It's an easy fix. Now, this doesn't have to be used. These techniques don't have to be used for yarn that you purchased from a thrift store or that you were gifted. Maybe you have yarn that's been in your stash for a long time and it got a little dusty smelling. Easy problem. Wash it, hang it up. Problem solved. And for $1 for this beautiful hot pink cotton that is no longer available, and that blue is gorgeous, and the blue is not bleeding nearly as much as the pink did. Like barely anything came off of the blue, and I used the same exact techniques except I put the vinegar in the bath first. And now for the grand total of what, $2, I have 2 beautiful cottons that I can use and make myself a beautiful hand towel for the bathroom, which is exactly what I plan on doing with this beautiful cotton. Alright guys, I hope you learned something, and I think I already said that. I hope you found this educational, or at the very least entertaining, especially with my drill powered yarn spinner dryer thingy. Yeah. Alright guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye.